Imagine Game of Thrones, but created 30 years before HBO got its hands on it. 3 main characters, none of whom know each other. 3 parallel life journeys, and not a single one ends happily. And that is the story of Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils, or Tian Long Ba Bu, a novel written by Jin Yong 60 years ago. Jin Yong is an author whose novels have sold over 300 million copies, surpassing Tolkien, surpassing Stephen King. In the Chinese-speaking world, he is Shakespeare and George R.R. Martin rolled into one, and Tian Long Ba Bu is his magnum opus.
Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils, or Tian Long Ba Bu, is not Jin Yong's most famous novel. The Legend of the Condor Heroes holds that title. But among scholars, critics, and devoted fans of Wuxia, one work stands above all others in its philosophical depth, its tragic grandeur, and its sheer ambition. A novel with 3 protagonists, 8 major factions, and a cast so vast it mirrors the Buddhist cosmos it was named after. This is Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils, Jin Yong's most complex novel.
What is Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils? The title itself is drawn from Buddhist cosmology, Tian Long Ba Bu, which refers to the 8 races of supernatural beings: the Deva, the Nagas, the Yakshas, the Gandharvas, the Asuras, the Garudas, the Kinnaras, and the Mahoragas. These are beings trapped between the divine and the mortal, neither fully gods nor fully human. Jin Yong chose this title deliberately. Every character in this novel, heroes and villains alike, is trapped by their own nature, their desires, their origins, their fate. They are all, in some way, demigods and semi-devils.
The story unfolds during the Song dynasty, approximately 1094 AD, roughly 100 years before Guo Jing's birth in The Legend of the Condor Heroes. This is a world torn between clashing empires and kingdoms in constant tension, from the Han Chinese Song dynasty to the Khitan Liao to the Western Xia and the royal realm of Dali. Against this backdrop of empire and war, 3 extraordinary men rise, each unknowingly connected by fate. 3 protagonists, 3 men, 3 entirely different paths. Duan Yu, a prince who despises martial arts, yet becomes one of the most powerful martial artists of his age. Xu Zhu, a monk of pure heart who inherits power he never wanted. And Qiao Feng, the greatest hero of his generation, whose entire life is built on a lie he never knew. Their stories begin separately, intersect at the most critical moments, and end in ways that define Jin Yong's darkest vision of what it means to be a hero.
Duan Yu, the Reluctant Prince. Duan Yu is the crown prince of the Dali kingdom, a small but wealthy state in what is today Yunnan province. Unlike the princes of Wuxia tradition, Duan Yu actively refuses to learn martial arts. He considers violence beneath him, and his gentle scholar's nature makes him an unlikely hero for a martial arts saga. Yet, fate has other plans. Duan Yu stumbles into the Wuliang Mountain Cavern and discovers the sacred texts of northern dark divine art, known as Beiming Shen Gong, a mystical art that allows the user to absorb and claim the internal energy of others, and the Lingbo microstep, an evasion technique of extraordinary speed based on the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. Shortly after, through another series of accidents, he absorbs vast amounts of energy from various martial artists. This immense power allows him to master the 6 Meridian Divine Swords, his family's ultimate royal technique, that projects internal energy as an invisible, rapid-fire blade capable of cutting through steel. The irony is complete. The prince who refused all martial training becomes the carrier of 2 of the most devastating techniques in the martial world,
techniques he cannot control and frequently cannot even activate. Duan Yu's journey is defined by love, specifically by his obsession with the enigmatic Wang Yu Yan, whose beauty mirrors the statue of the goddess in the cavern where he first trained. His pursuit of her drives him across the martial world, into danger, and ultimately into the revelation that several women he has fallen in love with are, in fact, his half-sisters, children of his father's hidden past. Jin Yong uses Duan Yu to explore the cruelty of karma. A man who seeks only love receives power he doesn't want, and the truth about the people he loves becomes the source of his deepest suffering. Where Duan Yu's story is driven by love and irony, the second hero's story is driven by something far simpler and far purer.
Xu Zhu, the Accidental Master. Xu Zhu is a low-ranking Shaolin monk, obscure, humble, and entirely unremarkable. He follows the Buddhist precepts with absolute sincerity. No killing, no theft, no falsehood, no sexual relations. Among the hundreds of characters in this novel, Xu Zhu stands alone for one quality: genuine goodness. He has no ambition. He wants only to serve his monastery and complete his cultivation. The martial world has no interest in him, until one day, it chooses him. At the Jin Long chess formation, a legendary puzzle unsolved by grandmasters for decades, Xu Zhu finds the answer not through intellect, but through sheer innocence. His unpredictable move shatters the game, leading him to Wu Yazi, the legendary grandmaster of the Shaoyao sect, who has been living in hiding after being paralyzed by a tragic betrayal. With his final breath, Wu Yazi transfers his 70 years of pure internal energy directly into Xu Zhu's body. In an instant, the world's most ordinary monk becomes one of the most powerful internal martial artists alive. Forced into a destiny he never wanted, he inherits the entire mystical legacy of the Shaoyao sect, becoming its reluctant new grandmaster.
The cruelest twist of Xu Zhu's fate is that the power he never sought comes with responsibilities that shatter every vow he has taken. He is forced to break his celibacy. He is forced to break his vegetarian vow by consuming meat and blood under torture. And in a mountain cave, in darkness, he falls irrevocably in love with the princess of Western Xia, a woman he cannot see, whose face he does not know, but whose presence consumes him. The ultimate devastation awaits him at his beloved Shaolin temple. The simple monk who only wanted to follow the precepts discovers that his biological father is none other than Xuanci, the revered abbot of Shaolin, born from a forbidden past. To atone for his sins, the abbot willingly accepts a brutal public flogging that costs him his life, while Xu Zhu's newly found mother, overcome with grief, takes her own life to join her lover in death.
In a single agonizing day, Xuanzhu finds his family only to witness both his father and mother die before his eyes. He is left a man eternally torn between his broken faith, his tragic lineage, and an impossible love. But of the three heroes, it is the third who carries the novel's heaviest burden. It is his story, more than any other in Jin Yong's entire body of work, that defines what it truly costs to be a hero.
Qiao Feng, the tragic hero. At the opening of the novel, Qiao Feng is the undisputed leader of the Beggar Clan, the largest martial arts organization in China, with hundreds of thousands of members. He is universally acknowledged as the greatest martial artist of his generation. His signature technique, the 28 dragon-subduing palms, is the most powerful external martial art in the world, a devastating system derived from the ancient Book of Changes, I Ching, capable of leveling a man in a single blow. He is, in every way that the martial world values, perfect. Then, a single accusation destroys everything. A figure reveals that Qiao Feng is not Han Chinese, he is Khitan, the son of a man from the Liao dynasty, China's greatest enemy. In an instant, the hero who defined Chinese martial virtue becomes, in the eyes of the martial world, a traitor by blood. Forced to strip himself of his leadership, Qiao Feng soon finds himself framed for a string of brutal murders, including the murders of his adoptive parents, his teacher at Shaolin, and the vice leader of the beggar gang.
His response to these accusations is the scene that defines him. At Zhuoxian Manor, a massive gathering of masters assembled specifically to plot his execution, Qiao Feng walks right into the lion's den. He does not come to fight, but to beg a miracle physician to save the life of a wounded girl he had just met, Aiju. When the masters refuse and ambush him, Qiao Feng stands alone. Against dozens of masters, against former brothers and disciples, he fights back, defeating all who come. Not out of rage, not to prove his innocence, but because he refuses to run and refuses to let the girl die.
What follows is the most devastating moment in all of Jin Yong's writing. Qiao Feng falls in love with Aiju, that same servant girl of extraordinary gentleness and loyalty, the one person who stands by him when the world has turned against him. But their love is severed by a cruel twist of fate. Discovering that her newly found biological father is the man Qiao Feng seeks to kill for revenge, Aiju makes the ultimate sacrifice. She disguises herself as her father and meets Qiao Feng in a midnight duel on a lonely bridge. Unknowingly, Qiao Feng strikes her with his full force, realizing the truth only as she dies in his arms. Qiao Feng's greatest power becomes his greatest curse. The man who could defeat any enemy in the world could not protect the one person he loved. The years that follow harden Qiao Feng without breaking him. He finds a measure of peace in the Liao dynasty, rising to become the sworn brother of the Liao emperor. But when the emperor prepares to launch a massive invasion of Song China, the country that rejected him, Qiao Feng faces an impossible choice. At Yanmen Pass, the exact location where, as an infant, his Khitan father was cut down by Han Chinese warriors, Qiao Feng forces the Liao emperor to abandon the invasion at sword point. Then, with nothing left to live for in either world, he takes his own life. His final act is not vengeance, it is not triumph, it is pure sacrifice. The definition of a hero as someone who gives everything for people who will never know his name. Factions and sects, the world behind the heroes. The Beggars Clan, or Gaibang, is the largest Jianghu organization. Its members are beggars and commoners from all corners of the country. But make no mistake, they are the most effective intelligence network in existence, and their martial artists can rival any martial arts school. Qiao Feng is their leader at the beginning of the story, and his downfall will shake the entire organization to its core. Shaolin Temple stands as the ultimate moral center of the martial world. Yet even here, devastating secrets fester. The abbot Xuanqi carries a hidden past that reshapes the novel's final acts. He is the secret father of Xu Zhu, born from a forbidden affair with one of the world's most notorious villains. When this scandal is exposed, it destroyed Shaolin's reputation, proving that the roots of tragedy run deep, even within holy walls. The Murong family of Gusu represents a different kind of ambition. Their signature technique, the star-shifting art, allows them to reflect any technique back at its user with greater force. Their dream is the restoration of the Yan Kingdom, a dynasty destroyed centuries before. Murong Fu, the family's last heir, pursues this dream with a ruthlessness that ultimately costs him his humanity and his mind. The Duan clan of the Dali kingdom blends courtly elegance, Buddhist spirituality, and high-level martial arts. They do not seek domination in the martial arts world, but fight to protect the nation's sovereignty and uphold justice. Dali holds a deadly legacy feared by all martial artists: the One Yang finger technique and the legendary Six Meridians divine sword technique. Carefree Sect, or Xiao Yao Sect, a hidden organization of immortal-level martial artists whose internal conflicts drive much of the story. The sect's three elders, Wu Yazi, Tiansan Tonglao, and Li Qiushui, are bound together by a triangle of love, betrayal, and obsession that spans decades. It is the fallout of this triangle that ultimately places Xu Zhu at the center of the martial world. The Xingshou sect, the most toxic and twisted faction in the martial arts world, is the main antagonist in this story. Its leader, Ding Chunqiu, is one of the most dangerous martial artists, not because he is genuinely powerful, but because he cheats in highly creative ways. His disciples live in constant fear, surviving only by betraying one another and constantly flattering their master. Jin Yong's darkest novel. Jin Yong wrote 14 novels. Most of them end in triumph. The hero survives, love is found, justice is served. Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils does not offer that comfort. The novel's title is its thesis. Every character is trapped between what they are and what they wish to be. Qiao Feng is trapped between two identities and belongs to neither. Duan Yu is trapped between love and blood. Xu Zhu is trapped between faith and feeling. Even the villains, the obsessive Murong Fu, the vengeful Yu Tanxi, are prisoners of their own natures. The 8 Buddhist races of the title are not supernatural beings in this story. They are the human beings themselves, each one a semi-divine, semi-flawed creature, unable to transcend their deepest contradictions. It is the most Buddhist novel in Jin Yong's canon, and perhaps the most honest. 3 heroes, 3 destinies shaped by forces beyond their control. One world in which honor, love, and identity are tested to their absolute limits. Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils stands as Jin Yong's most ambitious creation, a novel that refuses easy answers and rewards those who sit with its complexity. This is the universe of Tian Long Ba Bu. 9 adaptations have attempted to bring this saga to the screen, from Felix Wong's 1982 TVB version to Hu Jun's iconic 2003 performance to Donnie Yen's 2023 film. Which version truly captures Qiao Feng's tragedy?
Watch next. Every adaptation of Demi-Gods and Semi-Devils ranked. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out. See you later.